Hi, I'm Julie, and we're crocheting symbols of Griffith Park for the Autry Museum's exhibition Investigating Griffith Park, which celebrates the park's 125th anniversary. I'm going to demonstrate today how to crochet a California poppy. It's the state flower of California, and it also grows in Griffith Park. If you would like to crochet one or more of them and send them to us, we will hang them up in the show. Information about where to send your crocheted flower is provided on the website. To start, you'll need yarn and a crochet hook. I used a 2.75 millimeter or C hook and a 3.5 millimeter or E hook with sport weight and DK weight acrylic yarn. Acrylic yarn is important for this project to avoid bringing insects into the gallery. I used two variations of orange yarn, one for the flower, including the center and the petals, and then the thinner one for the stamens. You'll also need a tapestry needle and scissors. For the purpose of this demonstration, I'm using thicker yarn and larger hooks. Let's get started making the flower. We'll begin with the thicker yarn, and with it we need to create a center ring, which you can make using a loose slip knot. To make the loose slip knot, you'll make a loop and then draw the yarn through the loop to make a center ring. We'll insert the hook here, and we can shrink this part where the hook is, because that is our active loop. And we'll make a chain by drawing the yarn, oopsies, through the through the loop to secure. Now we're going to place 6 single crochets in the center ring. So we insert the hook into the center ring and draw up a loop. We have 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and draw through both loops. And we'll do that again 5 times in the same place. Insert the hook, draw up a loop, yarn over and draw through both loops. Sorry, need to unwind, okay. Insert the hook, draw up a loop, 2 loops, yarn over and draw through both loops. And we have 5, we need 1 more. We can shrink this center ring by tugging on the tail, and we'll move to the next round after we secure this one by making a slip stitch in the first stitch from the last round. So we insert a hook through the first stitch, draw up a loop, we have 2 loops, we draw the top loop through the bottom loop. Now we'll chain 1, and we're on round 2. For round 2, we're going to make 2 single crochets in each stitch around. So we'll make a total of 12 single crochets. We'll start here in that first stitch from the last round and make 2 single crochets in the same place. So draw up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and draw through both loops. We'll do that again. Now 2 for the next one, and so on. Now we'll skip this slip stitch from the last round and that chain 1, and we'll reach all the way over to that first single crochet we made on this round. Insert the hook under both loops, the front and the back. Draw up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, and we draw the top loop through the bottom loop. And we're done with the center of the flower. Now for the petals. For this round, we're going to work in the front loop only. So you can see if we turn the center ring, the center part on its side, we have the front loop here and the back loop here. It's almost like the letter V on its side stacked up. Here, we'll show a bunch of V's all stacked up. So we'll turn it back, and the front loop is the one that's closest to us. The back loop is the one that's further away. So for this round, we're working in the front loop only. We'll begin with 5 chains. And then crochet 2 treble crochet stitches in the same place as that slip stitch chain 5. To make a treble stitch, you yarn over twice and then insert the hook into the stitch and draw up a loop. So we're doing front loop only, remember. Insert, draw up a loop. We have 4 loops on the hook, and we yarn over and draw through 2, yarn over and draw through 2, yarn over and draw through 2. Now we're going to do another treble stitch in the same place. So we yarn over twice, go into that stitch, draw up a loop, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, draw through 2, yarn over, draw through 2, and yarn over, draw through 2. Now we'll move into the next stitch. For the next stitch, we'll be inserting 3 treble crochets in the same place. So we yarn over twice, go into the front loop only, draw up a loop, yarn over, draw through 2, yarn over, draw through 2, yarn over, draw through 2, and so on. For the next stitch, we do 2 treble crochets followed by another chain 5 and a slip stitch. So yarn over twice, go into the next stitch, front loop only, draw up a loop, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, draw through 2, yarn over, draw through 2, yarn over, draw through 2, and another one. And now for the chain 5. And slip stitch into the same stitch. Now we'll be moving to the opposite side to make another petal. You see we've made 1 petal now. Now we slip stitch in the front loop only 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to make a petal just like we did here. Now we've made our second petal in the front loop only, and we're going to slip stitch our way back to the first petal. So we insert the hook into the front loop only and slip stitch. Now instead of inserting the hook into that initial slip stitch that we made, we're going to lift that petal forward and see that there are the back loops of those stitches that we were working in the front loop only before. Now we're going to work in the back loop from those same stitches. Sometimes these are difficult to identify. Even after doing this project several times, it's sometimes difficult for me to see these. However, when in doubt, just make your best guess. So we're going to slip stitch into that back loop of the beginning of the first petal that we made. So draw the top loop through the bottom loop and pull that one tight. Now we're going to slip stitch in the next one behind the petal and in the third one, and which is the last one of this petal. And we're going to continue into the next stitch just past the petal that we made. So that's one more slip stitch, and then we're going to make a petal in the back loops. So to do this, we'll do exactly the same thing, just a different location. Chain 5, and 2 treble crochets in the first stitch, 3 treble crochets in the second stitch, 2 treble crochets in the third stitch, and chain 5 and slip stitch. So we've completed the third petal in this one in the back loop. Now we're going to slip stitch our way to where we're going to have the fourth petal. So that's 3 slip stitches in the stitches that correspond to the petals from the front loop, and then we do one slip stitch behind this first slip stitch we made, and we will chain 5. Two trebles, and we continue in making the petal the same way we did the other 3 in the back loops. Now we will slip stitch and fasten off. So here we have the 4 petals in the center of the poppy. And we'll move on to making the stamens. Now we're going to crochet the stamens, and we use our other yarn and our smaller hook. So it's the thinner yarn and the smaller hook. And we do this part separately, and then we'll attach it afterwards. So we begin by making a slip knot. This time it's a tight one. So you make a loop, draw the yarn through the loop, and pull. Insert the hook into the active loop, and we'll chain 7. So you draw the yarn through the loop 7 times. We'll skip the last chain that we made, and we'll slip stitch into the second chain from the hook. I like to go in the back ridge, so it's on the opposite side from the V side, which is the front of the chain. So here are the V's that are stacked on top of each other, and we flip that over, and there's a bump in the middle. So we skip the first one and go under the second bump called the back ridge, the third loop of a crochet chain. So we have 2 loops on the hook, and we're making a slip stitch. So draw the top loop through the bottom loop and go under the next back ridge, and we're slip stitching. Top loop through the bottom loop all the way down. Now we will chain 6, And we're going to slip stitch down again, skipping that last chain that you made. Insert the hook into the back ridge, draw the top loop through the bottom loop, and so on. So we'll be making 5 stamens all together. When you get down to this last chain stitch, then you actually do another slip stitch in the very first chain that you made from when you were chaining 7 at the beginning, and then we will chain 6 again. 3, 4, 5, 6, and flip it over, slip stitch back. Now we have our 5 stamens, and we've slip stitched all the way back to the center. We'll need to fasten off by cutting the yarn and drawing the yarn through the loop. Now we'll take our flower, and we'll draw these two ends through the center of the flower. You can use your hook, or you could use a tapestry needle. And we just want to tie a nice close knot with these two ends, however you'd like. If it doesn't seem like it's tight enough, you can do another knot. There you go. Here, we've done all of the crocheting now. And now it's time to weave in your ends. If you have a tapestry needle, take that and you thread the needle with your yarn tail. Now my tail's rather short here, so it may come out of the needle, and I'll just thread it again if that's the case. So you're going to go into stitches that are close to where the tail is attached to the piece, and go under at least 3 or 4 strands of yarn. And you're going to pull that through, and you can see I lost my tail. I'm going to put it back. Actually, I'm going to put the needle where I want it and then put the tail through. So going through 3 or 4 strands. Going to thread my needle at this point and draw it through. And one more time, we're going to skip the last strand and then go through at least 3 or 4 stitches or parts of stitches. And there. You know that if it's getting tight, that it's really well stuck in there, locked in place. Then after going through 3 times, I'm going to snip the yarn. Now I am going to keep these guys here, the ones that attach to the center of the back, because they can be used to attach the poppy to the Yarnscape at the Autry. So I'm going to hold on to these. You can do what you like. But there's our completed California poppy. Thanks for watching, and check out the information on the website to find out where to send your crocheted flower to have it included in the exhibition. Bye for now.